Welcome to another episode of the Art and About UG podcast, where we explore the city's vibrant art scene. I'm your host, Maria, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Stella.
Today we dive into the world of sustainable design with a particular focus on accessories and interior art, all crafted from recycled materials. Our guest is the incredibly talented designer Eva, who's redefining beauty and sustainability through her brand, Balungi Uganda.
So let's art and about.
Saula.
Eva. It's really great to be here. Your shop is amazing. I actually had no idea that it looked like this or knew about it until Stella mentioned you. She was like, listen, there is some place we have to totally go see it.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to be here and thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming and appreciating what I'm doing.
Very much.
Yes.
So we'd like to start off with, the big question. How did you get into accessory fashion? How did you get into accessory crafts?
Objects. I would not call it crafts.
Okay,
Objects because there's a whole design process behind it.
Okay.
Which is the difference between craft and art and design, to be honest.
Okay.
But Balungi is a family business. It's actually a thing from generation to generation. As I mentioned before, my grandmother is a florist. My mother is an interior architect.
Okay.
I did industrial design, but I've been raised up with my mother and my grandmother. So that means that I have a whole skill of interior design behind me as well. And I have a daughter, so the next generation will be her. So the purpose of Balungi is obviously made in Uganda with Ugandan materials, but also thinking about the next generation in the sense of creativity, productivity, and a peace of mind. And that reflects as well in our interior design.
Okay.
So in interior design there's always a big element of functionality and space management because that's how it benefits to how we think, how we act, how we wake up, how we eat. And then that is again attached to our unique pieces made by Balungi, which is backlit and recycled materials, from an interior object to beautifying yourself. So it's a philosophy basically. We are all unique, we all have our own authenticity, and I feel that should be praised instead of being neglected.
Okay, so speaking about recycled materials, at what point did sustainability become key, a central part of your design process?
Well, I think when you start designing, you look what you have around you. And when we started 12 years ago, to be honest, in Uganda, there was not much. Even up till today, we don't have so much going on around us. So obviously, sustainability becomes inevitable because you have plastic bottles laying around, you have, what else do we use? Like you have newspapers laying around, you have card boxes laying around. So the pieces that you have around you, as well, we start implementing because that's what was there.
Yeah.
So however much sustainability right now is a very big word, but if we would just do with what we have and be creative, then we could create so much more than constantly trying to have that thing that is not available.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is plastic. Okay.
Yeah. Plastic. But yeah.
That is new, like brand new. I don't know. Would that be it?
No, I think we need to look at two ways of design as well. There's the Industrial Revolution, right? There's a chain gang. There are things made where pa, and then you had a final product.
Yeah.
Whereby when you are really creative, because even when you start recycling, you only have, for instance, 5 plastic bottles. You don't have 100. Yeah, like
which is not
it's
scale.
Yes. And however much of that plastic bottle is actually a result of industrial revolution, for instance, but at the same time, when you're somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you only have that plastic bottle, right?
Yeah.
There is no industrial revolution there as happening. So what do we have?
Yeah.
Glass bottles. So it's just inevitable, to be honest, in my opinion.
So I think still on the sustainable materials, the sustainable materials. I don't know if this is going to offend you a little bit, but
That's
I can
fine.
see your products are very nice, so I don't think it will. But when you're working with sustainable materials, there is a tendency for people to have this mentality that it's a little bit tacky, maybe, or it's like exactly like a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
Like you get something made out of plastic bottle, and you're like, okay, this is a plastic bottle, product. Like, is that something that affects your thinking as you're picking materials?
No, I think, and even people might say, but your things are expensive, right? But has anybody else thought about using a plastic bottle like that? No. So it's a thought process. The thought process and the way you think and design is a collection of knowledge over the years. That collection of knowledge I have, but you don't.
Yeah.
You have another collection of knowledge of the last 10 years and what you do with that. So you understand? Well, so it's the knowledge combined with what you have that makes a unique thing, and then I'll come back into the AI in today's world where everything needs to go faster and better, but we're becoming very numb to the fact what is creativity.
That's true.
Yeah?
I mean, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're no longer expressing yourself. You're just trying to please someone else.
To push out.
To push, but all the memories in your life, or all the hurts, or all the pains that you couldn't express, it's still not expressed.
Yeah.
So I had a discussion with another few people as well. Everybody is starting to say, you need to be AI and you need to have this virtual person.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who is going to solve your problem? It's not going to in the person, right? Because the person is still implementing the knowledge into the machine.
Okay, so let's talk about your materials, right? The recycled materials. What particular materials are you incorporating in your design?
So we definitely have 5 or 6. So we have papier-mâché.
Okay.
And the papier-mâché bases are enhanced with an artist who makes them.
Okay.
Then we sit together sometimes and we see how we can improve things, change things, mold things, step by step, not all at once. Then there's barcloth, obviously. Then we have actually recycled glass beads, which is also from another entity that we use and incorporate.
Okay.
Then we have the plastic bottle tops. Then we have banana fiber.
Wow.
Then we have cardboards. And here and there we also use wood, like in our bangles, because again, the whole idea is the heritage of Uganda.
Okay.
So there's calabashes involved as well, seeds. However, I will tell you one thing, the challenge we have with seeds in Uganda, there's not a problem when people want to take them, for instance, to Australia, they cannot take them.
Yeah.
So there's a few...
What do you mean? Like
seeds are not allowed.
restrictions?
There are restrictions.
are these the seeds?
No, these are barcloth beads.
Okay.
So this is fully barcloth.
Okay.
But for instance, in this necklace here, these are seeds. So an Australian cannot take this home.
I feel like I'm sorry if I'm a little bit slow, but how do you mean? I feel like it's a dead seed, so it wouldn't be.
Actually, a seed is seed is never dead.
Yeah.
Oh, seed is never dead.
Yeah, because it's a seed. It's a seed you plant.
Learned something new.
You can bring it back to life, basically.
You can rehydrate it and.
Well, I'm not going to say 100% that that's going to happen, but that's what they think. Like
that is the logic behind the.
So it's not the indigenous plant base of botanical. What have you said in?
So it could be like an accidental export of something that they don't.
Yeah.
See.
Because that has happened in the past and it has done
damage to the eco.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you source your materials locally?
Yes.
All of them are locally sourced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
But what about the hands that are putting them together? Aside from you, are you also using people from the community to put this together?
I have a self-empowered team. We have a workshop so far which is growing for people.
Okay.
And then next to that we have also other people in hand. So let's say Balunji employs give or take 10 people so far.
Okay.
So the whole idea as well again is you can't grow on your own first and foremost, obviously, but again with Balunji we're trying to think about the next generation, which means we're all people, we're all human, like I was trying to say. And it's a matter to understand that the people that we employ also will grow in their generation and make a different impact. And I
Transfer
believe,
knowledge.
yes, transfer knowledge, but also the way of living needs to change.
Okay.
Not the standard setting where you have the 9-to-5 job and that's the only way you can earn money. I'm sorry, but we're going into and we're going into a world where people can be very productive, but not necessarily 24/7.
Okay.
And that's obviously a give and take, but I also feel like you should see an individual of what they are capable of doing, not what you try to make them do.
Okay.
And
So it's a
and
lifestyle.
yeah.
Balunji is also a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Could you tell us more about this
Balunji?
lifestyle? Yes,
Yeah,
principle.
the lifestyle is beautiful things for beautiful people.
Okay.
So what does that mean? If you don't understand what I'm doing here, then technically you're not part of Balunji. You're not part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but it's real. Like, if you don't value what I make, or if you don't value the price attached to it, it's not like I just made a product and say, hey, it's 365,000.
Shove it down somebody's throat. Just
Yeah, so I understand people here and they will bargain because they maybe want a piece very badly and it's not within the budget. But at the same time, I don't appreciate people that come in here and they say, that's very expensive. I'm giving you 50K.
Yeah.
I mean, then
you've attached a value to something,
Yeah.
and you want it to be respected.
So then technically, I don't see you as a beautiful person.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Sure, because I mean, like, I suppose the products, there's a long process that it takes a long
Took
process
us
to
12 years to be where we are today.
Yeah.
It was a give and take. It was a trying and error. It was sampling. It was making sure that things don't break, that they last, that they are sustained. So it's not just like we came all of a sudden. And that's also again involved with the people. But we're all human. What I'm saying with that is we have our weaknesses, we have our strengths, we make mistakes, and I think that is a good thing where we learn from, not necessarily a bad thing where you need to be blamed for.
Yeah.
And sometimes a mistake makes actually a beautiful new thing.
Yeah.
So again, this whole art scene and setting or Balunji lifestyle is the essence to me is always where's your heart.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether now you do a decoration, whether now you design something, first and foremost you need to understand the person you're designing for.
Yes.
Again, there comes the authenticity in. Because that makes you feel better, that makes you have positive attitudes. And with your positive attitude, you can actually impact so many more people. If we look at today, there are more people that actually are committing suicides than on a rate because they're isolated, they feel lonely. Like
there's no connection.
There's no connection. Yeah. And I think with what you do on a daily life, and that's another purpose of Balunji as well, you need to make a difference. We're blessed. Yeah, we're here for a short period of time, and what is the point of just being passing through,
like
just living day to day? I feel like there needs to be a purpose, to be honest, in life.
I get it.
Because we're gonna give it to the next
generation.
So if we're gonna give them all this clutter, then
exactly. True. True.
Speaking of the materials again, what are some of the unconventional materials that you've used with, that you've worked with, that have surprised you and you've integrated in your work?
Okay, so all the pieces of, how can I say, any piece that has been designed has actually a story, comes from somewhere.
Okay.
And that said, we incorporate also antique pieces, we collect items, whether it's now from my family heritage, or actually, for instance, from the Karamanjong, or from the Maasai. Recently, I found very nice things that were done by the Duka tribe. It was amazing. It was an acacia seat, and the way what they had done, they had implemented brass on the seats. So that's actually a new collection that I'm working on, based on their touch,
their philosophy.
So it's a whole incorporation of cultures. Like I said before, we're all the same people. I think we should look at what we have in common instead of fight what we not have in common. Right?
Sure.
What kind of response have you had from the audiences? in terms of this sustainable movement? I know the world is going green and everybody is all about, sustainability and things that are functional, I guess. So do you feel like there's a shift towards how people are perceiving artisanal objects? Like there's going to be a rise in this kind of workmanship?
So when we started 12 years ago, I did markets. The first market was Jurakali Village.
Like these pop-up markets?
No, those local markets.
Okay.
Actually, I was the only Mzungu girl.
Like the craft market in Uganda?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, I'll get there actually. So that was my first market. From there, people started to pick me up, and then I did a bigger market.
Okay.
And there, I have met clients that now have been looking for me after 10 years.
Wow.
So then actually after that, I had a shop in Buganda Road.
Okay.
So there, again, everybody thought after I shifted from there that I had no longer a shop because it was in transition. I was not yet so much online.
Okay.
So that's business. And like to say now that what I'm trying to say is clients are still looking for me even if they bought something 10 years ago.
Wow.
So I think that's very
encouraging.
that day was I have many moments, but that one was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So again, why do you come back? I think we need as a human a connection to a product.
Yeah.
It is a story. So if you have a story to wear, you will always do well because you're actually putting the individual as importance instead of actually the product itself.
Yeah.
It will make you feel
Appreciate closer to
yeah.
it. You appreciate it more.
Like for instance, if I would not be explaining you my life and how this has all been growing and how it, would you actually attach so much more value to it? You will say, okay, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
But would you wear it? Is the other question.
You'd wear it, but you didn't put it away.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't have that sentimental value.
I think I feel because first of all, this is very much art, as opposed to walking into a shop and getting something. I don't know why it feels that way.
Yeah.
Something that feels like it was manufactured in a factory on a line, on a product line.
Yeah.
And this feels like it has a personal touch.
It's
like
more
somebody
personal.
thought about it and put in some love.
Yes.
So it has a
whole lot of love.
A whole lot of love and a more personal,
Yeah.
a more
I think basically what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to tell you my story. Okay. I'm trying to tell the story of Balungi, and I'm also trying to make a change one place at a time, but also one human at a time. Not necessarily that I want to change human, but I want to show that things can be done differently. It doesn't really need to be all so stressful.
What led you to Uganda?
My mother.
Are you originally from Uganda?
So as I said, Balungi is a family business. So it originates with my mother when she came here.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. And then she basically created this platform where I just started to sell and grow it.
Okay.
Because she's also very good at what she does and she makes beautiful things within Balungi and within her work as she's an interior architect.
Okay.
So she's definitely one of my biggest mentors. However, I am a bit more hands-on.
Okay.
Because as I'm trying to build this for the future and my daughter.
Pass it down.
Yeah. So it takes another leap to actually run a full-time business.
Was it always Balungi?
It was always Balungi.
So the name has also been handed down.
Yes.
It's the name and the core founding.
The philosophy.
The philosophy has been handed down as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very beautiful. That is legacy.
I think the beauty is that generations can build something bigger than a one generation kind of thing.
To be able to pass something down, like a legacy.
Yeah.
And there is so much more value in something that has a history than something that has
just popped up.
And then like tomorrow it's going to be forgotten. It's not going to have this is actually literal stories. Oh, look at me, goosebumps.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the fun. I don't know.
No, definitely no.
Let's talk about styling. Would you say that all items that are designed and fashioned from sustainable materials fall under the same kind of category, like how you would have, I'm not very familiar with styles, but let's say that this feels like boho chic. So if you're designing stuff that's sustainably, that's made out of recycled materials, or that's handcrafted, does it automatically fall under boho chic, or you think there's like a separate, there's like different categories, like you create something and it has its own, they don't fall under one blanket?
It's like, let me give you
how you think about it.
Yeah, let me give you an example. Is it because it's chitenge that it's all streetwear, for instance? Is it chitenge? You can use chitenge in a very high-end dress design, and you can use chitenge as a very boho trouser, so it's a material, and it's how you use it and how you design it that defines the purpose. Now the same with what we design, we've done very high-end designs. I mean, what do I mean by high-end? Whether they want it sleek, shiny, gold, you can do that with these materials. However much you can also do the urban, street design. It's like fabric. What do you do with it? It's a material, and you design. And then
you are the creator.
Yeah. Yes. Designing is all a matter of a concept, a process, a story, and then you see, okay, these materials would work here, and then this finishes, and that. So don't put things in a box. Exactly. Don't box things in. Don't box me in. Don't box you in. Don't box you in. I mean, why do everybody always wants to box things in? I also don't understand that. Our house is a box. Our brain is a box. Our food is in a box.
Everything is in some kind of enclosure.
Yes.
For control.
And at the same time, we're very organic human beings. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. You keep saying very many things.
You're already part of the lifestyle.
You're a beautiful person.
You just need to get yourself an accessory like mine.
I'm gonna pick one up. I'm gonna walk around the shop and have a gander at some of these beautiful products.
So humble.
Yeah. So can you give us some tips on how to incorporate this sustainable jewelry and sustainable art into our lives, our day-to-day lives?
Okay, so I think the first step you do when you wake up is how can I make this day better than my last?
Okay.
Yeah. Imagine, do you know that when you dress fully in black, you actually vibrate negative energy? Yeah. So. Sorry.
No, you're both in black.
But
we actually wear a lot of black.
Yeah, well, because what I'm trying to say, negative is maybe a big word, but it's like you don't stand out.
Okay.
You don't express yourself of who you are. You just, don't get me wrong again, but most of the time you just blend in. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, where do you incorporate these things? The piece that you wear on your body or what you look at every day in the morning should make you happy.
Okay.
Yeah? By doing so, you already implement a positive aspect in your morning, regardless of the problems you're going to face that day. Because let's be honest, every day we wake up, we have problems that we solve.
Something new every
and then
day.
there's another problem coming in.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you look at my arm, each bracelet has a meaning.
Okay.
And I believe in energy like that as well.
Okay.
So whatever, I just don't buy things because they are nice. I buy them because it has first. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because otherwise we can as well buy every shop and every dressing and then you have piles of clothes and then you have this overconsumption.
Incredible advice.
Yeah.
It's going to help people who have like decision.
It's a lifestyle. Remember, it's a lifestyle.
Some people walk into a shop and they're like, oh my god, everything is nice. I don't know what to pick, or I have to buy everything. Especially if you have the money and you're lucky. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have the money, it's going to be a problem walking into a nice place like this and deciding what do I want. But then it also has to connect with you.
Yeah. It has to connect with you, and it should be something that you don't start propping into your cabinet. It should also be something that you look at every day. Like for instance, if you don't have the necklace on today, for instance, you hang it, you have like a nice book, and it becomes a piece of art as well. Like it's an inspiration. You know,
when it's not being worn, it's also
a piece of art. Yes. Because also, you know, our brain is a very powerful muscle. It will only do what you tell it to do. It will only take up that habit that you tell yourself every day. So if you don't get me wrong again, dull. Yeah.
I'm not dull, though. I've got like a
you're
nice
not dull.
necklace on.
Not you actually, but if you
dress, okay.
Yeah.
you're very pretty and dress pretty. But what I'm trying to say is the
I get it.
We
though.
get it.
We completely get it. We're just
like
get
you know,
it.
listen.
Add a little bit. I think a little bit of color
Yeah.
goes a long way.
Color not only, but what
Personality.
you
Yeah.
what it's you is it you like well. It takes
That
in the
is-
beginning a little bit of effort,
Yeah.
and strength. But once you start doing that, you will see how many people actually tell you, "Oh, you look fantastic today."
Yeah.
And those small
When
things
you-
at the end of the day will make
They
you more
impact you.
productive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
I
big
think I
impact.
get it. Like
Yeah.
dressing as you as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course not. Yeah, we're all on the same page, right? I mean, however,
guys.
Yeah. no. But like, I agree with 100%. 100% with the philosophy of how you dress is how you're gonna
be addressed.
be.
We have a
addressed
saying, by the way, the way you want to be addressed, that's how you dress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hard lesson for a lot of people who.
Love black.
Yes.
Other colors.
But,
and
for
other
instance,
colors, not
but
just
when you
black.
wear black, for instance, and you wear something that contrasts,
Like, yeah.
yes, like exactly like your necklace, which is balloonji, by the way.
Balloons, by the way. So yeah,
Yeah, but then you
we'll be
piece.
getting more pieces. Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think to wrap up,
Yeah.
you could like tell us what lies ahead for Balonji. I don't know if there's anything that you guys are cooking up. You said you were
working on a collection.
working on something with the brass and the seed, and is that
Okay, collections, they come and they go according to, like I said, what's happening in my life or in the life that I'm living with the people around me.
The times.
So they're, because it's always attached to a story.
okay?
But in general, I would say we're acting local, but we're thinking global. I want to bring Uganda out there.
Yeah.
That's very catchy. Act local.
Think global.
Yes. Me, my aim from the beginning. Like I said, I don't believe in boundaries and borders.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think what makes me sleep at night is knowing that Balunji has grown since the day we started. It has impacted some decent amount of people. And I think there's no way of doing anything in this world if you don't think about the human next to you.
Yeah.
Because it's a purpose, it's a
There
meaning.
is no point.
Because then you're aimlessly going for something
You're
that
just wondering.
There's no purpose.
there's no purpose. Yeah, you need to know what you do, why you do it, and that will keep you going and will make you actually very peaceful, meaningful person who can have meaningful connections. Whereby, when you can sit with that person on a table, it's not necessarily about the money, but it's about what experience or thought you exchange to keep you going to the next day, again to have a better day than your last.
I think there's a very, I don't know if it's popular. There's a marketing gimmick that has been used a lot where you find a piece of a product and it has a bit of lore at the back. There's a story attached to it, and that makes you want to buy it even more because you're like, you know what, this is like, it's either a conversation starter or it appeals to you in some way. You're like,
It makes you part of the process.
yes, it makes you part of the process. So hearing this background about this product, I came here and saying, Maria, no, you're on a budget over here. You're not buying anything. But it's very likely that I'm going to live here with something.
As you should.
as a result.
But not just
of
a product, also a mindset.
a mindset.
And to be honest, when you buy something from Balunji, you're really supporting Balunji. And that means that you're supporting our whole team.
Yeah.
Which again is a reflecting, it's not just buying and somebody is eating the profits.
I wanted to ask about the signature pieces, right? If you could just talk us through the signature pieces, what differentiates
What is a signature piece?
exactly, so we could start from there.
Okay, so why do we call them the signature pieces? It's because each piece is unique. Okay, which is most of all the pieces. But let's be honest, this is really a signature. When you're gonna wear this, like you said, it's a conversation piece. Yeah. And I only say that as well because I've constantly received that feedback. So that's why. And then this is another statement piece because it's another conversation piece. Like, however, that the people who appreciate this might not always appreciating this, and vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the unique materials that you're using in this particular. I can see
So this is
something
banana fiber.
unconventional, banana
Yeah.
fiber.
Banana. This is banana
banana
fiber.
fiber.
Then
Yeah.
these are the bottle tops.
Okay.
Then this is bottle tops that we cut and we give it backload. Then
Okay.
these bits we make, this is cardboard, banana fiber.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Then this is dyed backload again that we roll, and
Yeah.
again the banana fiber.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This is what you need.
This is beautiful.
This is the one that you need.
It has caught me off guard for sure.
It's really something.
When you
yeah.
said tops, but like bottle tops, completely different.
Yeah. No, because of the way, like, look how they've used them.
So now I get what you meant when you said that you wouldn't mind an imitation because it's
a compliment.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
like
then
years of knowledge. This is 12 years of knowledge that has accumulated for you to arrive at a production process that gets you thinking about creating things like this. Like it's taken some time. You don't just wake up and say, "Ooh, I think I'll start experimenting."
Exactly. No. It's literally been spoon fed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for instance, this one is actually a unique piece that my mom designed.
Okay.
And then this is, for instance, the piece
so
that
she's
I.
also still very much part of the design process.
To be honest, this necklace is 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean the design.
I think this is what first drew me in actually. This one and that one.
Yeah.
I saw them like in a magazine actually. I think a model was wearing them and I had to.
Oh yes.
I had to follow. I had to follow the movement. Really beautiful stuff. Yeah.
So as it's a family business, we do combine knowledge, and I think that's the beauty about it.
Yeah.
Because it's different generations again. So again, an elder person might be more attracted to this than a younger person.
Yeah.
So it's a versatile
We can
product
feel the
range.
versatility,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end. But now it's time to shop.
It's been a lovely visit.
Yeah. It's time
Let's
to
do a
shop.
Saula.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Art and About UG.
If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, share, and tune in next time as we continue to explore the fascinating world of art in all its forms.
Until next time, come for the art.
Stay for the story.
Bye.